Hello and welcome to the Traybakes and More cooking channel. I'm Callie and today I have another classic no-bake tray bake for you. This is Diane's Delights. The base is crushed biscuits, marshmallows, condensed milk, a little bit of coconut, some butter topped with some white chocolate. I've got some flaked almonds over the top of mine. You could also use crushed nuts, chopped nuts of some sort, or even just some sprinkles or some marshmallows for extra sweetness. It's a little bit crunchy, a little bit chewy, a lot sweet. But you know what? It tastes pretty good. Now you might say it looks a bit like 15s in terms of the ingredient list, and you would be right. There are no glacé cherries in this, so you know if you're not a glacé cherry fan, then this is the one for you. But you know, it's another super easy one to make. Diane's Delights. Let's get baking. Okay, so I have another no-bake tray bake for you, so there's very little preparation to do. I have my usual 20 centimetre square tray bake tin lined with some baking parchment and sitting ready and waiting. And in my little saucepan here, I have desiccated coconut, I have butter, and I have condensed milk. I've got a half a can of condensed milk here. Condensed milk seems to come in cans that are 397 grams or thereabouts these days. I'm pretty sure they used to come in smaller cans when I was a kid. But things change. You only need half of that can, about 200 grams or thereabouts. Take a look on my blog if you want to find some more recipes that will use the other half of your can of condensed milk. All I'm going to do is then put this over a gentle heat. Let everything come together. The butter will melt, mix nicely with the condensed milk. I'll set it aside for a couple of minutes and then we'll mix it with the dry ingredients. So while I'm waiting for everything to melt on my stove in my saucepan, I will get on with my dry ingredients, which is just biscuits and marshmallows. Now, if you can get hold of rich tea biscuits, then that's the thing to use in this recipe. If you cannot get hold of rich tea biscuits, don't panic. I'm using Maria cookies here, which are much easier for me to find in the US in a regular supermarket than rich tea. Although I can find rich tea biscuits in the international aisle of some of my supermarkets here, so I will use those if I can get hold of them. You could use digestives or graham crackers easily as well. That will work just as well. You want a nice mixture of fine crumbs and some chunkier pieces, or just, you know, slightly larger pieces here, just for a bit of crunch. And then marshmallows, just chop them up. If you have mini marshmallows, they don't really need to be chopped up. But if you're using the regular sized ones, chop them into quarters. You will know that if you've chopped marshmallow before, that you will cut it and it will just form back together again and stick to itself. So in that situation, just dip it in some biscuit crumbs and coat the cut edge in biscuit crumbs, and then it will stay a little bit more separate in your tray bake here. But that's it. This is the dry ingredients, and I'm just going to go and check how my butter's melting. So this has just come off the stove. My butter has melted. It's combined nicely with the condensed milk. The coconut's in there, and it's smelling lovely. I'm just going to leave this to sit here for a minute or two before I mix it with the biscuits and the marshmallows. I don't want the marshmallows to melt too much if this is too hot going into it. So just leave this to sit, and then we'll mix it with the dry ingredients. So you just need to stir this until everything is combined and you've got no little clumps of dry biscuit in the mix, and then press it into your tin, and then I'm going to melt some chocolate. So for the last stage, I have just melted some white chocolate. I'm going to spread that over the top of the base and then put it in the fridge for a couple of hours to set. If you want, you could add some flaked almonds or some chopped nuts, even some sprinkles on top of this, or just leave it plain. Whatever you want, it is up to you. Diane's Delights. Right, so this didn't give me a beautifully smooth top because it was quite lumpy underneath the marshmallow stick. Lumpy is a bad way to describe this. It was an uneven texture because of the marshmallows underneath, so I didn't get a totally smooth chocolate layer on top, so I decided to put a few flaked almonds on this. You could use some chopped nuts, you could put some sprinkles on there, even some mini marshmallows if you want some extra sweetness. Anyway, this is just going to go in the fridge for a couple of hours to set, then I'll slice it up, and we have Diane's Delights. So keep an eye out for more recipes, subscribe to my channel, tell your family and friends, and I'll see you again soon on Traybakes and More.